Hi, it's Marco Rubio. This is our weekly constituent mailbox where we go through the emails, the calls, the letters that we're getting. And this week, of course, there's a lot of insight coming into our office about the upcoming hearing this Thursday of this week. Former Director Comey from the FBI will be appearing before the Intelligence Committee that I serve on. And so we'll have an opportunity to question him along with my colleagues. So we have a lot of people calling in and writing about things like an independent commission, or used to be a lot about an independent counsel. That's now happened. And so I have not necessarily believe that there needs to be an independent commission yet. I've said that because I think the Intelligence Committee is doing its work in a bipartisan way, and members on both sides of the aisle will tell you we're making real progress in getting to the truth. So that's where I would begin. People ask me, what do you hope to hear out of the hearing on Thursday? I think the bottom line is the truth. We want to hear from Director Comey, someone I've had a chance to interact with over the last 4 years and have always admired as a professional. There's been some things reported in the press about what conversations he may or may not have had with the president. We're going to have an opportunity to ask him those questions and to do so in front of the American people in an open hearing. And so that's an important moment for rule of law and for what we do here in our oversight function. And so when people say, what's the goal of the hearing? The goal is to get to the truth and to gather from him exactly what happened. We don't want to continue to have to rely on press reports or an anonymous source that said that he said. I think it's important to hear directly from him, and that's what we're going to have a chance to do on Thursday when he testifies, and I'm sure a lot of people will be tuning in to see what happens from that. On the broader context, the one area we are deeply focused on, of course, is the interference in our elections, and what did Russia do to sort of interfere with our electoral process in 2016, because it's my belief that this isn't going to be the last time they do it. We've seen them doing it in other countries around the world, and the reason why that's so important for us to know is because it allows us to prepare for it in future elections. And so for us, shining a light on it is critical, but we want to be able to lay out all the facts and in great detail. And to do that appropriately, it's going to take a little bit of time, but we are going to get there. I am fully committed to that. I'm one of the few people out there that from the very beginning has been talking about this, and really believe that the Intelligence Committee at this point is the appropriate forum to undertake that work. There'll be other items coming up this week. We're going to be hopefully passing here my VA accountability law, if it hasn't passed by the time you see this broadcast. And this is a law that took some time to get under the books. We had to work with Democrats across the aisle to build a consensus. What it basically does is it gives the Secretary of the Veterans Administration more power to be able to remove from their positions people that are breaking the law or not doing a good job, bring accountability back to the VA. Not a week goes by that we don't get dozens of calls to our office from veterans who are having a problem interacting with the VA. And while the enormous and vast majority of people that work at the VA are doing a great job, there are a few people that are not. And the VA secretary has to have the ability to hold them accountable. And that's what this law allows us to do. And I'm pleased that we were able to put together a bipartisan group to deal with that. So those two issues are, for me, are going to dominate the week, obviously. The VA accountability bill passage. We're also going to hopefully rename the street in front of the Russian embassy Boris Nemtsov street, because that is an activist who was killed in the shadow of the Kremlin, an opponent of the Putin regime. And then, of course, our big hearing on Thursday, where we're going to hear directly from Director Comey. So we're back here in D.C. after a week back in the state, as we got a chance to go to Pensacola. We had a chance to go up to Palm Beach. I had a chance to give a couple of commencement speeches at high schools in the South Florida area. And it was a great time to reconnect with folks back home. But now we're back here in D.C. for what's going to be a pretty busy week. And so again, thank you for tuning into our constituent mailbox. As always, keep sending us your letters, keep emailing us, keep calling, because we go through all of them. And we pull from that and kind of get a sense of what people are thinking, what's on their minds, what issues they want us to confront. There's so much to talk about. We'll be doing this now pretty regularly once again. And so it's a great chance to be able to answer some of your questions. And in the weeks to come, we'll be able to get to some of the other issues regarding healthcare and the like. But until then, I again just want to thank you. It's an incredible privilege and an honor to serve you here in the United States Senate. May God bless all of you. May God bless our great state, the state of Florida, especially now that hurricane season is underway. Don't forget to get your supplies. And of course, may God always bless our great country, the United States of America.